Hello, welcome to today's webinar brought to you by Keyline Interactive. My name is Kelly Narcisse and I'll be your host. Thank you all for joining us. We're excited to talk with Keyline Interactive's Director of Quantitative Research, Dana Bishop, about our Mobile Credit Card Competitive Index report that will be released on January 30th. This is an inaugural report, so it will be the first of its kind following up from the release of our biannually Mobile Banking Competitive Index report. Dana joined the Keyline Interactive team last January and brings with her a wealth of experience working in the finance industry. She has 20 years experience in user research overall and a concentration in the area of banking and financial services during the past 15 years. Previous clients that Dana has worked with include Charles Schwab, Citibank, HSBC, Barclays, Wells Fargo, and many more. Dana has more than a decade of experience running annual competitive benchmark studies for the banking and credit card industry. She measured and tracked how the online experience for both prospects and customers of the top banks has evolved. She also fielded the competitive banking and credit card studies in North America, Europe, Asia, and Australia. This leads us now to present day, where Dana is leading Keyline Interactive's Mobile Credit Card Competitive Index report, which will be published biannually in January and July. Okay, so before getting started, let's quickly cover a couple of guidelines to keep in mind throughout the next 30 minutes. As you can see, there's widgets available on your screen for you to interact with. Feel free to post on Twitter during the webinar using the hashtag KLIEvent. You can also read about our presenter from the bio widget on the left. We also provided a resource list on your right-hand side that has links that will be discussed throughout the next 30 minutes. At the end, we'll ask you to fill out a quick survey that will give us feedback on our webinar, and we appreciate your participation. Lastly, feel free to submit any questions that may come up throughout the webinar in the Q&A window on your left. Although you will not get a live response, we will receive your questions via email, and we will respond in a timely manner. So without further ado, this is a great place for me to have Dana kick off the first talking point.
Thank you, Kelly, and thank you all for joining us today and giving me an opportunity to tell you a little bit more about this new mobile credit card report that we're publishing. I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to walk you through a little bit about this new report in terms of our methodology, what and who will be included in the report, and also showing you a few highlights, little sneak peek highlights from the report. But first, for anyone who may not be familiar with Keyline Interactive, I want to tell you a little bit about us here at Keyline. We recently celebrated our 5th anniversary. We focus on acquiring customers, converting web traffic, and differentiating your customer experience. We're known for custom research as well as industry benchmarks and competitive analysis, like what we're discussing today, as well as strategic research and development. So I'd like to start by highlighting a few things about what makes our reports unique and truly valuable to our report subscriber. In terms of what is unique about our reports, we incorporate consumer preferences in terms of features and capabilities that they consider the most critical for them to have a successful mobile experience. We do this via a consumer survey of 500 consumers each time we run the study. We also include exhaustive screenshots from behind the login of all competitors' mobile sites and apps. New in this report, starting with this one, we are adding something new that we're excited about, which is trends and innovations within the industry. And this is a very exciting section for us, which I'll talk to a little bit more in a few minutes. We also have full verification of all capabilities available to customers across all the competitors. We provide detailed analysis and description of features. This is obviously unbiased third-party research being collected by us, as well as identifying things like key success factors of those apps and sites that are really delivering the best experience. We have best-in-class features, very specific features within each category, areas for improvements, and then some analysis around why a few companies are lagging behind the rest of the pack. As I mentioned, our methodology is unique since it incorporates the value of features and capabilities as assessed by the consumers themselves into the review. These insights are directly from consumers and a very not only unique but very important aspect of what we're providing to companies who subscribe to our reports. So we take that value to customer. We then look at the features, capabilities, and assessment. We do that review. We do a comparative feature ranking, and by combining those different aspects of our research, we come up with our rankings. So how we arrive at the value to customer is through the analysis of a 500-person survey of smartphone owners that we run in conjunction with this research. And this slide shows a brief overview of some of the demographics of those consumers that we're surveying. So they're all smartphone owners. They have at least one personal credit card. We have participants with a mix of education, majority with at least some college, split of male and females, and age ranging from about 18 up to 55, mix of household incomes. So we really have a nice cross-section of consumers here who are taking the survey and telling us about what their priorities are in terms of mobile credit card interaction. So I want to show you a little bit more about this consumer survey that I've been talking about and what that kind of looks like. So we're surveying 500 people, smartphone owners that have the general demographics I just mentioned. And we first start by asking them some general usage and habit questions surrounding using the mobile properties for looking at their managing, viewing their credit card information, right, whether it's on their phone or other mobile device. So we ask them collecting usage and habit data over time. And then the really important aspect of this is what's called our card sort. And the card sort, which you can see in the screenshot on the lower right-hand side of the screen, really asks them, it has a list of features and capabilities on the left-hand side, and it asks them to sort them into 5 different buckets, if you will. One being not at all important, right, on my mobile credit card site or app. 2 is not important. 3 is kind of indifferent or neutral. 4 would be a nice to have. And then 5 is described as very important, must-have on my mobile credit card site or app. And so by having people categorize into where this falls in terms of on that spectrum of importance, we're able to then take the collective data gathered from 500 people and really be able to give you a prioritized features and capabilities list from the consumer point of view. The next key component of this competitive research report is the capabilities assessment. We conduct an exhaustive examination and verification of each mobile site and app's capabilities. And in this review, we really provide a great level of detail in terms of exactly snapshotted every 6 months as we're releasing these reports. We're snapshotting exactly where all of the competition is in terms of what they've got included in their mobile site or in their mobile app. And this is a really valuable part of the research as well in terms of just tracking your competition and where you are within the industry. So then we take the consumer insights that we get from the 500-person survey. We take our capabilities assessment and then we calculate a weighted score based on consumer preference, and ultimately are able to come up with a ranking order, not only overall, but also we break it down by mobile site, by iPhone app, and Android phone app. And we do that because very often what is available within each of those different apps or the mobile site vary still. While many are in alignment, there are some differences, and so we find it very valuable to, like I said, break it down by each of those categories and then roll it up into an overall score. So I've explained a little bit about how we come to our ranking or ranking order of different competitors. However, I do want to say that our competitive index reports are not merely a ranking report. We really have expanded to go beyond that, and excited to announce that in this latest release of this credit card report, or the first release of this credit card report, and actually all of our other competitive index reports going forward in different industries, we're going to be adding a new section about innovations and trends. So we're excited to add this because really some of these innovations, these technologies, capabilities that haven't yet made it kind of into the mainstream, if you will, and they're not part of our capabilities assessment that we're basing the rankings on, but many of these trends and innovations are being offered by maybe just one company, maybe two in some cases. They may be in beta form or a small pilot program to a select number of customers. But these we feel are really noteworthy and important innovations within the industry and things that we really should be watching and tracking in the coming months and year ahead. So we're very excited this time to be offering some of these sneak peeks, if you will, into some of the new trends and innovations that people are talking about and we'll be watching closely. So on this next slide, I've got a couple of examples to show you of some of those sort of trends and innovations. So these are what some of the pages look like there. And in this particular example are kind of some new, interesting approaches being offered by a few companies as convenient yet very secure alternatives to traditional username and password entry method of logging in to either a mobile app or mobile site that we're all used to. In the case on the right, the example on the right is the mobile app for USAA, and there's some screenshots there as part of the new biometrics pilot program, which has been available to just a very limited number of members over the last few months, but recently was announced by USAA that it will be rolled out to all members at some point in Q1 of 2015. So we're anxiously awaiting the full rollout of this program, but it's very interesting initial pilot of both voice and face recognition. So that's one example. The example on the left is a company that's actually outside of our core group of competitors that are in this particular study, but it's a company who's done something interesting, again, with the login process by pattern tracing. Login by pattern. So that's an interesting example. Again, because this trends and innovation section is not in the main rankings, it allows us to add some innovations and some things that are being done by competitors that are even outside of the competitive set being reviewed in the study. So these are some examples of what that section will look like. And as I mentioned, we're not only including that for the first time in this report, but going forward it will be in all of our competitive index reports. So now I'd like to talk about which companies and mobile properties we're reviewing in this report. So we will be reviewing the mobile sites and phone apps, both iPhone and Android phone, of these 9 top U.S. credit card issuers. And this is noteworthy to say that while these are the 9 competitors that we are doing in this report, it is available as an option to, and something that we do quite often is custom reports for financial institutions that are not included in sort of the baseline set, if you will, of competitors. And this is an option we're very pleased to offer, and we're actually currently working on a few custom reports for several companies not included in the standard release of the competitive index report. So if that's something that you are interested in, obviously be able to contact us, and we're happy to do these custom sort of add-on reports. One of the things included in our reports is really highlighting unique or well-implemented features. So on the right, you can see a portion of one of the assessments, the feature assessment cards. And basically you can see that a few features are unique to one credit card issuer's app, and that there are particular things that none of the other competitors. So on that screenshot on the right, a check mark means that they have the capability, and a dash means that it doesn't exist. So you can see here that there's a few competitors that have a few features that are not offered by most others. And on the left is an example of what that might look like in terms of one of our best-in-class illustrations. So complete with detailed step-by-step screenshots of this kind of unique or well-implemented feature, but also an explanation of the strengths of the app interface. In this particular case, it's about the app interface. And but also a summary of where the app is falling short of several other competitors in one or more aspects of app interface and customization, even though it may be a top app in terms of the ability to customize what you see or how you're navigating, or have things like voice commands and sort of unique features. So again, we try to balance out by highlighting things that are unique, but also showing where there may be some deficits in areas to improve upon what's already there. So let's take a little look here at what the rankings and sort of a slide might look like for rankings and strengths within different categories. So on the left is an example of how credit card companies stack up or rank, if you will, overall for the mobile site experience. Then on the right, you can see how we break that down a little bit further by category. And those categories might be things like account activity and history, pending charges, how you can view pending charges, or the ability to edit pending charges, things like that, rewards, how rewards are handled within the app and what's available to customers. So then you can really look at not only sort of the overall rank again, like who ranks 1, 2, 3, et cetera, but then you can drill down further and see who's lagging behind, who's excelling in different specific sort of subcategories, if you will. And we do this for the mobile apps, both mobile apps as well as the mobile site. And so you get this granular level of how we sort of arrived, if you will, at the overall rankings. And again, areas of strengths and weaknesses for different companies and who's doing the best in these categories. And finally, after kind of giving you a little preview of some of the different sort of bits and pieces and sections of the report or specific pages of the report, of course, we've covered the overall methodology. I kind of wanted to recap quickly what's included in the full report. So we have the overall rankings, as well as a breakdown by category, meaning mobile site, iPhone app, Android phone app, a comparative list of all current mobile capabilities available on each of these mobile apps and mobile sites from all 9 competitors included in the report, a detailed scoring breakdown of all capabilities and features reviewed within each of these properties, whether it's site or the app, the new trends and innovations section that I've been talking about, comprehensive assessment of the best-in-class features within each category. So we really try to break it down to the actual feature, how it's implemented. You've got really great detailed from behind the login screenshots and some assessment and analysis about those features and what, again, is unique that someone is being offered, whether it's fewer number of clicks to get there or something that is more editable than the rest or offers things that a lot of the competition is not. We also include the user feedback collected from our 500-person survey. That includes things like the feature preferences, obviously, as well as that kind of habit and usage, if you will, data that we're collecting. So that's about how often they're using their mobile apps to access their credit card, how long they've been doing it, what are the most important things, how they feel about that experience, and areas where they feel can use improvement. We also include an exhaustive list of all of the mobile apps currently available from these 9 credit card issuers, not just the apps we're reviewing, but an exhaustive list of all of their current mobile apps. And lastly, I want to mention that we've got some special webinar pricing. So if you book your report by Friday, January 30th, which is the release date of this new mobile credit card report, you can lock in this webinar-only special rate. So for single reports, our standard price is $12,000. We're discounting that down to $10,800. If you want to subscribe annually and receive both the January and July editions, the standard price is $21,500. We're discounting that down to $18,275. Now, those are our webinar-only sort of special rates, if you will, that we're running through January 30th of 2015. And then I want to mention something that's separate from that that's good all year round, which is an annual bundling of both the mobile banking report as well as this new mobile credit card report. So we're offering this bundle now that we have these 2 financial service reports to customers who would like to buy both annual subscriptions, and we're basically offering a $5,000 savings on that. So the total price for all 4 reports is $43,000. That particular bundling offer does not have an expiration date. That is good for the whole year. The other webinar-only rates will expire on January 30th. So.
Thank you, Dana. We really appreciate you taking us through a closer look into our new Mobile Credit Card Competitive Index report. Again, this report will be published biannually in January and July. We thank you all for attending the webinar today, and we hope that you were able to get a lot out of it. Go ahead and feel free to submit any questions you may have in the Q&A box if you haven't already, and we will be sure to get back to you soon. Another great way to get in touch with Key Lime Interactive is emailing us at marketing@keylimeinteractive.com. And lastly, we have a survey on the bottom portion of the console that you can click on. It's a really quick survey. We'd love to get your feedback. And again, thank you for your time. This concludes our webinar for today. Have a great day.